All right. Hey, everybody. Hopefully, everybody's having a good night. It's finally Friday, probably the best day of the weekend. Weekdays, it's Friday. Everybody loves it. And as always, I always like to start off my videos by saying hopefully everybody's safe. Everybody is doing their part, being smart about out there right now with everything going on right now. If you have to work, hopefully you guys are playing it safe, washing your hands, hand sanitizer, whatever it is you got to do, Lysol, disinfect your working area, whatever it is you got to do, hopefully you guys are safe, and for the people that are in quarantine right now, hopefully you guys haven't gone crazy yet because, there's been a couple incidents already, people just starting to lose their mind, but I can't blame them being stuck in the house for, 2 weeks. It's no fun, but, hopefully you guys are enjoying your time with your loved ones and your family. And if, you have no family and you're by yourself, quarantine, this is the best time to reflect, self reflect on you and do some self care, and hopefully everybody's just doing their part and staying safe. So, with that being said, my name is Juan Rodriguez. I usually go by Junior by people that know me. Um, this video is coming to you by YouTube Live, so the live chat is open. And I'm also doing a Facebook Live for videos, so the people that are on that page, they can comment, and my helper will wave me down, and anything that pops up, she'll wave me down, and we'll discuss about it. So today, it is all about the Jaguars at pick number 9. That's right, Jacksonville Jaguars at pick 9, and it's hard to believe that a couple years ago, they were about one probably one half, a quarter away from going to their first ever Super Bowl. It's just they kind of just fell apart in the last few minutes, and there's Tom Brady doing his thing again with New England. It was kind of close. I think that was as close as it was gonna get, but after that, it just seemed like finally for like the first time in a long time for this franchise, it was looking like everything was just coming together, and that just shows you how quick the NFL can turn. What people remember about a couple seasons ago was that great defense that Jacksonville had. It was regarded as Saxonville because of all the players that were there, from Calais Campbell to Telvin Smith to Miles Jack, and now it kind of depleted over these last 2 years. It kind of depleted. To give you an example, of what I mean by that, Jalen Ramsey, he's now with the Rams from a trade last year. AJ Bouye got traded to Denver. Tashawn Gibson, he is now free agent, still looking for a new home. Calais Campbell got traded to Baltimore, the reigning Walter Payton Man of the Year. Sorry about that. Um, of this year. What else? Telvin Smith, he took a hiatus from football. He just wanted to get his mind right, his body right, and it's like I always say, you know your body better than anybody. So I mean, he took a hiatus, and it was just, it's just hard to believe that a couple years ago this team was on the cusp of something great, and now they're in a rebuild mode. And they're, in a top 9 pick. They have a top 10 pick at number 9, and they have to start all over. Blake Bortles is now the backup in Los Angeles for the Rams. They had Nick Foles, but this offseason they traded him to Chicago. So now it's all about Minshew mania. Gardner Minshew, the rookie out of now he's a first year pro out of Washington State, and he had some good moments. And just like any other rookie, you have some good moments, you have some bad moments, and you just try to live with it, and you just hope that as the years progress, that they learn from their mistakes and they learn from just everything, from reps to everything. I think that was one of the things for you know the Jaguars, is just they made a choice and they're going to go with Minshew. And my first comment from Julian Garcia: the stash rules. Yes, yeah, the Gardner Minshew stash. That's Man, that's a beauty. I mean, I tell you, man, that's a real beauty. I mean, he's as gung ho American as you can get, man. And you know what? He just looks like he's having fun, and it's good to see that. And we'll see what happens. I mean, I think he's got potential. It's just up to the coaching staff to make something happen. But yeah, as for like I was saying earlier, it's just a thing. You know how quick the NFL can change. You know, 1 minute you're like a quarter away from the biggest game of your life, and now you're in a rebuild mode again. You know, that's just how quick the NFL, landscape changes. You know, it's just it goes that quick. 1 minute you're at the top, next minute you're at the bottom, and it just happens. It just happens. But um, I think what it was just a bunch of me guys instead of we guys, and that's just what led to the departure of that defense. Everybody just they just wanted all the credit for what was going on, and that usually happens when a team. I don't want to say overachieves because that's kind of erroneous. You know, whenever I hear like a team overachieved, it's hey they did their thing. You know, you played a win, and they won. You know, at one point they were winning, and it's just what happens in time. Too much talent can really deteriorate a roster, and I think that's the hard part about being a head coach in the NFL. You can have all the talent in the world, but you have to keep the talent in check and make sure that they still are me guys, or not me guys, but they're we guys, team guys instead of me guys. But, you know, it's just a different era now. You know, we'll see what happens with Gardner Minshew. I mean, with that trade from Nick Foles to Chicago, I mean, I think they're pretty much set. They pretty much read it in stone that, they're written in stone that Minshew's the guy going forward. And we'll see what happens. I mean, maybe they'll surprise us all, and something will happen. Maybe they'll pick up Cam, or maybe they'll draft one. We really don't know. But they weren't that quiet in the offseason as well with trading. They were actually quite busy bringing in talent as well. For example, they signed Joel Sherbert, the solid linebacker from Cleveland. You know, he leaves the dog pound to join Duval now, and that was a good signing, I believe. I think that was one of those signings that didn't get a lot of attention, but I think he's going to fit in real nice there. I think everybody's just going to love his attitude. At least every time I turn on a Cleveland game and Joel Sherbert made a play, it's just you can tell he's just a baller. And I think Jacksonville picked up a good piece. They got Tyler Eifert from Cincinnati on a 2-year deal. It just didn't work out in Cincy, whether it was injuries or just bad seasons, injuries. It didn't work out, so now they got him on a 2-year deal. He's a talented tight end. It's just what Cincinnati was expecting, he didn't live up to it. So maybe this is just kind of change the scenery, fresh start for a young guy. And like I said, injuries kind of have derailed his career early on, but we'll see what happens. I think a change of scenery is always good, and I think for Tyler Eifert, I think this is going to be good for him. They franchise tagged that name, man, Yannick Nakui. Now, hopefully, I didn't butcher his name, but you got to respect him, man. He's a baller, especially in the defensive end side. He's a straight baller, and nothing I could say. At one point he was regarded as being a defensive player of the year, but then they just kind of derailed, and his stats started to dwindle, and everything just started going down for Jacksonville little by little, and then that was kind of the end of it. And another signing they did was Rashawn Melvin, which was is kind of a significant sign because he is a starter, but he's not what you would call a number one. He's a solid two. This is his fourth team in 4 years. He started his career in Indy, and then his contract came up. Then he went to Oakland, who are now Las Vegas. Then last year he played in Detroit, and now this year he's going to play in Jacksonville. And it's just what it was. I mean, I wouldn't say he's a bad corner. He just can't find his rhythm. And what it is just there's nothing bad about him. Every teammate that I'm sure he's ever had can only say good things about him. The problem is, it's just fits don't fit, man. It's just he's a good corner to have. It's just long term, you just kind of want to give him on the not a cheap end of the deal, but you don't want to commit something high for a guy that's really only had 4 interceptions his whole career, and that if it's just not something you want to pay high money in for a corner. Other than that, I mean, if he kills it here, then I expect a little good deal for him. But we'll see what happens. And then, as mentioned earlier, everybody's just being traded away. I think Leonard Fournette is kind of the last man standing. From that team. That was played a significant role during their run for the AFC Championship game, and it's just like I said, it's just a weird thing, for Jacksonville to be in this position. Looking at it from the outside in, it looked like they were set up for success for a little while. And I think everybody just thought that they were just going to pull through one time, but that's all it takes, just one season, and it's over. That ride's over, and sometimes you stay on top, and sometimes you got to just leave, and you just have to start over again. And they really have been doing that. From cutting almost everybody that was in that AFC Championship game. It really is another rebuild for Jacksonville, and that's a shame, really, because they had a nice squad. It's just couldn't happen. It just couldn't happen for them, and sometimes that's just how it goes. The one thing I will say is that their draft class last year really it just started off really well for them. They drafted Josh Allen, who was probably taken a little bit later than what a lot of people thought. It happens, and the crazy thing is, he had a really good year, and he was nominated for Defensive Player of the Year. It's just because Jacksonville just had a bad year. Not a lot of people knew about it until that night where he was nominated for Defensive Player of the Year, and that's when people really started to take notice. And it's a shame, really. He really did have a good rookie year. Um, Man, I thought he was going to be. I thought for sure, when the Raiders were up, I thought it was going to be Devin Bush, Devin White, one of those two, or it was going to be Josh Allen. And not to say I don't like Klee, it's just it was a big a surprise for all of us. But Klee did his thing, and he can get better, but it would have been nice to have Josh. But it's just Mike Mayock, John Gruden had other plans. It happens, but I think Josh Allen landed in the perfect spot. I think when the whole team, especially the head coach of Jacksonville, his biggest emphasis on a team is the defensive line, and he's in good hands with that head coach up in Jacksonville, with his defensive-minded attitude and Josh Allen's will. He's going to be a player to watch out for years to come. And with that was the first round. The second round they drafted Jawan Taylor. A guy where I keep mentioning there's just some players that believe they're going to get drafted in the first. Well, when that 32nd pick happens and your name didn't get called, the realization is, oh crap, I'm probably going to be a day two guy. And for Jawan Taylor to be a day two guy, that was a steal for Jacksonville. They got an amazing right tackle. That was just a steal. I mean, they really knocked it out of the park with their first 2 picks and getting a Defensive Player of the Year candidate in the first round and a staple at right tackle for years to come. And now their bookends is Cam Robinson and Jawan Taylor, and it's just a really good situation to have when you have 2 good tackles. It's hard to find one, but when you have 2 solid tackles, it makes that offense run so much smoother. And yeah, Jacksonville really just did have a good draft class, and they have receivers, so they're not really in the market for a receiver, which a lot of people were anticipating, but they have Dede Westbrook, Chris Conley, and they're fine. DJ Chark finally came up on his own, and they're fine. Those 3 trio of receivers, they're going to be fine. I mean, I think a lot of people were anticipating that Jacksonville was gonna jump on a free agent wide receiver. There was talks about them probably signing Amari Cooper, because of Cooper's connections to Florida, because he is from Florida. and that was a connection. Another one was Robbie Anderson, where the Jets, his market was supposed to be high, but with the Panther video I made a couple nights ago, it just wasn't there. It was only a 2 year, 20 million, 10 million per year deal. I think Robbie was expecting more, but I think when Carolina offered that contract and he knew his market wasn't going to get any stronger as the days progressed, he jumped on it, and now he's a Panther. And I think the anticipation was Jacksonville was going to jump on a receiver. It didn't happen, and now they are good with the trio they have, and now they have a tight end and a good running back. And offensively, I think these guys can do good. It's just really we really have to see how much progress Gardner Minshew has from rookie year to the first year, and they're going to go with him. And if that's what they believe is going to be the best option for them to win games, then hey, kudos to them. And hopefully it works out for him because he's really an entertaining guy. His press conferences are something else. He's a little wacky, but you know what? In this crazy times, sometimes a little goofball and a little wackiness is what the sport needs and what this world needs. Something to kind of be entertained by a little bit. But with that being said, I mentioned earlier, they slashed, cut, traded, you know, people retiring, their defensive side really just, disintegrated right before our very eyes. It's always weird to like when you look back, especially in that game, you see all those names and you're like, man, how come it didn't happen? And then now you see them on another team, you're just like, oh my gosh, they were just on the cusp on going to the Super Bowl and now they're on another team. But that's just what happens. And now, with that being said, it is now time for my prediction for what I believe the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to do with the ninth pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. All right. Everybody loves that sound. But here we go. With the ninth pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Isaiah Simmons, linebacker, Clemson. This is sort of like a no-brainer for Jacksonville. This is really a no-brainer if this were to play out the way my videos have been going. They need help. They need help, with Miles Jack coming back. Telvin Smith, we don't know how long his hiatus. We don't know how long Telvin Smith's hiatus is going to be from football. It could be one more season. He might come back this year. We don't know. And I think the signing of Joe Schobert just kind of signified to me that, Telvin Smith might be gone for a little bit longer than we thought. And, if this plays out the way it does with all the videos I've done, Isaiah Simmons falling to 9, I think Jacksonville will be like popping fireworks inside that building, wherever it is going to be televised. They'll be popping fireworks wherever it's at. Isaiah Simmons is, how can I put this? He's not from Earth. And hold on, I got one comment from Julian Garcia. Wow, crazy. He dropped that far. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's crazy. And yes, Julian, they would be popping fireworks. They'd be, champagne bottles all over the room. It would just be a crazy scene for Jacksonville to turn in that card if Isaiah Simmons is there. And like I mentioned, they just what it is offensively. I think they're set. They can always draft offense, in the second round, like they did last year. But this is a team now where they have to rebuild on the defensive side. They got Josh Allen last year. Isaiah Simmons, as I mentioned earlier, he is not from Earth. He is from another planet that they just made him into a human who went to college at Clemson, and now he's going to just shock the world in the NFL. That's what he is. You look at his tape and you look at his combine highlights, he is holy crap is the word I can say, is the phrase I can use is holy crap. I could say others, but I probably get kicked out of YouTube if I say that word. But to give you an idea what I mean, I'll put it to you like this. He is 6'4". He's 240 pounds. He has a 33 and a half arm length. He has a 9.5 hand size. He ran a 4.4 40-yard dash. Let me put it to you like this. He ran just as fast as Jonathan Taylor, who was the fastest running back in this year's combine participant. He ran faster than Christian McCaffrey, who is regarded as the fastest running back in the NFL. And he ran faster than DeAndre Hopkins and Michael Thomas when they did their combine drills. So to put it in perspective, he is a freak of nature. He ran just that fast. And his 39-inch vertical, it's, good luck. He's already 6'4". Now he's jumping 39 feet in the air to swat a ball. Okay, good luck with that. 11-inch broad jump. You look at his tape, the second that ball is snapped, bam, he's already back there, tackling the running back for a loss or sacking the quarterback. He's just as that fast as advertised. You know, I get it. He's probably more of an athlete than he is at a position, because people don't really know what to do with him because at Clemson, he played safety, he played nickel corner, he played linebacker, but I think moving forward to the NFL, he will play linebacker, and you know that's a great way to rebuild Jacksonville. You have Miles Jack on one of the outsides, you have Joel Sherbert in the middle, and now you have Isaiah Simmons on the other one, behind either Yannick or behind Josh Allen. Good luck to the rest of the AFC South offensive linemen, because holy crap, if this were to happen, I think Isaiah would be more of a weak side. I think he has the speed for that, Julian. I think what it is I think Miles is more of a Sam and Joe is more of a Mike himself, but whether they put him at weak, whether they put him at Sam or middle, it doesn't matter. That you can rotate all three of them, to get your best position to win one-on-ones or just scheme against the offensive line, whoever you're playing against that weekend. To the rest of the AFC South offensive linemen, if this were to happen, good luck. I don't even know how to plan for that because you have to count for Josh Allen. You have to count for Yannick. You have to account for now Joe Sherbert. You have to account for Miles Jack, who's still the jack of all trades, literally. And now if Isaiah Simmons were to be on this team, I don't know what you're going to do. Like, what do? You want to put a guard on him? Okay, that's fine. He's fast to go around the guard. What are you going to do? You're going to put a tackle on him? Okay, he's got the bull rush to, go through your guard or your tackle, I should say. So, I mean, this would be just totally unfair to the rest of the NFL if Isaiah Simmons went to Jacksonville. It'd just be so unfair. And if you want to talk about, for all my Jaguar fans out there, my friends, and hopefully people that ever do watch this video, you should be jumping up and down for joy if Isaiah Simmons falls to you guys. I would love him as a Raider, but no way he falls to 12. There's just no way. But yeah, it's just totally unfair. And if that were to happen, forget it. There's nothing more to say other than just watch his film from the combine, watch his film from his time in Clemson, and you'll see what I'm talking about. He's a freak of nature. He's a great athlete, and it'd be crazy. I would love to see that. I would love to see a preseason game, when the season comes back around, to go see those three do their job and just be like, oh man, I'm glad we don't have to play Jacksonville this year, because thank God. We'll plan for them another time. But yeah, other than that, that is the end of this video. As I said, Isaiah Simmons at 9. Tomorrow, it's the Dog Pound's turn. Cleveland, you are now on the clock. I will be talking about the Cleveland Browns tomorrow. Not the season that they thought they were going to have, with all the trades they did and all the signings they did. And I think it was just a down year for them. The talent's there. They just have to really just put it all together. And, that's more of a, I think more of a coaching issue than it is a player issue, because the players got the talent. It's just up to the coaches to put them in the proper scheme. But I'll explain more of that tomorrow. As for right now, let's see. Julian with one more comment. A bunch of dogs. Yeah, the dog pound tomorrow, my man. So hopefully you tune in. Uh, they have a. I think we have a pretty sense of where they're going, but I mean, I'll do more research tonight and a little bit tomorrow, and then we'll go from there. And then, other than that, do we have anything? No, nobody said anything today. No. All right. Other than Joan Garcia and a couple other people, no, just Joan right now. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Stay safe and just enjoy your time with your loved ones right now, and y'all have a wonderful night.